Welcome back to another video. DW Gaming here. We have the latest developer update for Dead by Daylight, February 2024. These changes will go live on the PTB on Tuesday, the 20th of February, and probably about 3 weeks or so, they will go live on the live servers. This is in conjunction with the new Killer and Survivor that are coming out on the PTB as well. So let's take a look at some of these changes. I wish they would kind of relax on all the changes they've been doing recently. They just had changes with Alan Wake, and before then they had changes with the previous patch. I wish it would just ease off a little bit, give us a little time to breathe, get used to what's going on. But in any event, here are the changes that are coming tomorrow on the PTB. Killer tweaks. For this update, we've given a few of the killers in our roster both quality of life and balance improvements. We've identified a handful of killers that could use some small base kit improvements to help reduce their dependency on certain add-ons. There's a lot to go through, so we'll do our best to keep them brief. The Pig. In a shocking turn of events, we have decided to buff the Pig. Have you really? More specifically, we have made improvements to both the Pig's ambush and crouch abilities. The goal with these changes is to make her ambush and stealth abilities more useful and make her less reliant on her reverse bear traps. Great. Ambush. Increase ambush duration to 2.3 seconds was 2 seconds. Increase ambush successful attack cooldown to 2.7 seconds was 3 seconds. Decrease ambush missed attack cooldown to 1.5 seconds was 2 seconds. These numbers are really very minuscule. 2-3 second difference. Not even that. Like a point 0.3, 0.3, 0.5. Not much of a difference at all. Devs, here's a little clue for you. What does a survivor do when they see a pig crouch at a loop? They run away. They don't stay at the loop. I don't know who over there thinks it's worthwhile to buff these numbers. But you don't play at a high level. You don't understand how the game works at high MMR. A survivor who sees Pig go into her crouch at a loop will simply run away from the loop. They're not going to try to mind game her. Okay? A good survivor. Bad survivors, you can get bad survivors with any killer with no powers. It doesn't matter. This does not help her at high MMR. A survivor is simply going to run away. I don't know if you guys have a hard time with that concept, but you really need to either watch some high-level gameplay, some comp matches, or play it yourself, because these numbers do not make a whole lot of difference. The survivor will just leave the loop. It's not hard to figure out. Crouch. Increased crouch movement speed to 3.8 was 3.6. No big deal. It's still slower than a survivor, so it's not really all that much of an improvement. Decreased time taken to crouch to 1 second was 1.3. So 0.2 and 0.3. These numbers are pretty meaningless. They think they're doing something. They're not. Reverse bear traps. The pig can no longer see the auras of jigsaw boxes. Why? Why? one of the strengths of Pig is that you can play around where you think the survivor with the trap is going to go, because they're extremely vulnerable when they're on those boxes. That's pretty much the only thing Pig, she's like Sadako. The only thing she has going for her is not her chase, but actually trying to intercept survivors at the boxes. Now you've removed that option completely. I would love to know why you did that. Reverse bear traps now have a base timer of 3 minutes, was 2.5. So they've made the timer take longer as well. Why are you nerfing her reverse bear trap? She has nothing in chase. The ambush is a joke. These numbers will not reflect any kind of increased ambush attacks. The numbers are too minuscule. They're too small of an adjustment to make her ambush a viable option in a loop, and the survivor will just run away anyway. So there's no point. And you take away one of the strongest aspect of her base kit is now weakest. It's now weak. Why would you do this? So, despite what they said, they nerfed the Pig. And that's all I can see from this. I mean, there's really no other way around it. They nerfed Pig. It's not just a meme, it's reality. This is pathetic. These devs are living in their own world. They're not playing this game in any kind of a realistic manner. They need to have a dedicated team that goes on the live servers that play against people at high MMR, and maybe then they'll get a clue as to what happens in these matches. Ambushes, the survivor's just going to run away. There's no reason to think you're buffing Pig with ambush cooldowns and then completely destroy her reverse bear traps. This is just sad. This is sad, and it's not surprising. The devs are extremely clueless when it comes to how killers actually work in this game. It's just infuriating though, because I really like Pig, and one of the best ways to play as Pig is to take advantage of the fact that survivors will be working on getting their traps off rather than working on generators. This is pathetic. Let's see what they say to try to spin this. The Pig can now cover 15% more ground with her ambush attack. Doesn't matter. As soon as the survivor sees her crouch, they're gone. Can they make up that distance? I don't know. I wouldn't think so. It doesn't matter. Make it hard for survivors to break away from the loop. Really? I mean, we'll have to see, but I still don't see this being viable in a chase situation. The survivor's going to know when Pig crouches, and then they'll just be gone. We've also made miss attacks less punishing to encourage using ambush more often. No, people are not going to use ambush more often. It's a joke of a power. These little number tweaks are nothing to encourage people to use it more often. Update or successful attack cooldown to match the normal basic attack cooldown. Yeah, well, that's kind of obvious. Don't know why you didn't do that before. Improving her crouch makes it quicker and easier to set up an ambush and allows her to spend less time sneaking up on unsuspecting survivors. Yeah, sure. Okay. She still moves at 3.8. She still moves slower than a survivor. Make her at least the same speed as a survivor when she's crouched. This is a game where Wraith exists, and he can move faster than survivors when invisible. you're going to make it so she still moves slower than survivors when she's crouched, and then say, well, she'll be able to, sneak up easier. And yeah, just make her the same speed, or make her like 4.2, or hell, even 4.4 when she's crouched. As I said, Wraith is in the game, and he goes faster than survivors when invisible. And he gives a clear audible warning when he uncloaks, just like Pig, who gives a clear audible warning when she uncrouches. These developers. A handful of add-ons that decrease or miss attack cooldown or decrease her crouch time have had their effects reduced, compensate as their effects are not part of her base game. Okay. So Pig receives a huge nerf. I don't care what they say. I don't care what anyone else says. This is a big nerf to Pig. These don't matter. The ambush and crouch times being reduced are pointless. Survivors are just going to run away from the loop. So these are meaningless. And they did a number on her reverse bear traps. So it's a net nerf, not a buff. Get your heads out of your asses. The Hag. The Hag's most popular add-ons decrease the saying time of her phantasm traps and increase the distance at which they can be teleported to. With that in mind, yeah, they increase the distance, which was a huge nerf to her. No one in their right mind when playing Hag would run the egg add-on because it set off the trap earlier, so when you actually teleported to it, the survivor who set off that trap was farther away. She wouldn't even get a hit most of the time. So there's no reason to run that add-on. It made her a weaker version of Hag. With that in mind, we have increased the maximum teleport distance. Oh, they mean the distance that you can actually teleport to a phantasm trap. Okay, so like dried cicada add-on. Yeah, everyone ran that because it made her more viable. Increase the maximum teleport distance to 48 meters was 40, and decreased trap saying time to 0.9 seconds was 1 second. Ooh, a whole 0.1 seconds. Wow. That will be noticeable. The developers seem too afraid to make any big changes to a lot of these values. It's really strange. 0.1 second difference. That's nothing. If this would be hilarious if they weren't so serious about it. And additionally, increase the time-triggered phantasm traps remain active from just 6 seconds, 1 whole second. Yeah, big deal. Increase the time taken to wipe away a phantasm trap to 4 seconds was 3.5, so a whole 0.5 seconds. Ooh. Ooh, it's going to make Hag so strong. Oh, she's a mediocre killer at best. She's extremely strong once you get a survivor on the hook, because then you can just put traps around and it pretty much snowballs from there. I would say she's borderline unbeatable if you get survivors in the basement. But as a normal killer, no, she's not strong at all. One of her biggest problems is you can't chase with her. Her movement speed is 110. And it's hilarious how the developers think you can chase with Chucky, who also has a 110 movement speed. These adjustments will make it easier to set and teleport to phantasm traps, reducing the reliance on add-ons and improve these aspects. The increased duration will also give her more time to respond and get in range when a trap is triggered. Meanwhile, survivors will have to spend a little longer to wipe away a trap, make it more difficult to do during a chase. So I assume, these are buffs. These are net buffs. I assume they're doing this because no one plays Hag, and maybe they want more people to play Hag. The developers are weird. They're all about killer diversity. They want people to play some of the lesser played killers. But then they change their values in very minuscule ways, like 0.1 second, 0.5 seconds. Very minuscule. As for triggering traps, the Hag had some add-ons which increase the trigger range. In practice, this would be counterproductive since it would position the survivors further away from the trap, making them more difficult to hit after teleporting. Yeah, okay, it wasn't the A. It was Bog Water, Bloodied Water, and Bloodied Mud add-ons. Okay. Yeah, they were pretty pointless. You would never want to run those as Hag. It would make her a weaker version of herself. So decrease the base trap trigger range at 2.7 meters was 3 meters. Still not enough, but it's something, I suppose. The Bog Water, Bloodied Water, and Bloodied Mud add-ons, which previously increased the trap trigger range, have had their effects inverted and now decrease trap trigger range. Okay, that makes sense. Like the pig, don't mention the pig. You've pissed me off immensely with your changes to pig. The effects of some add-ons have been toned down. Of course, they have to be toned down. Yeah. The clown. Between the two bottles, the clown's afterpiece tonic is the clear favorite for most players. Yeah, because it slows survivors down. It makes him more deadly in a loop. The afterpiece antidote it takes way too long to activate, and you're using a bottle that could have been used to slow the survivor down. That's why. Right there. We want to show some love to the afterpiece antidote, make a more compelling option, so we have. Increase the afterpiece antidote speed boost duration to 6 seconds. Oh, wow. A whole second. Decrease the afterpiece antidote activation time to 2 seconds. Why does it have an activation time at all? 0.5 second. A half a second reduction is very negligible. It shouldn't really have an activation time. As soon as you throw it, it should activate. I don't understand why it needs an activation time. Clown is not... Clown is probably the best 1v1 killer in the game, but his map traversal ability is abysmal. I would, in order to play Clown to where I wasn't frustrated, I would basically have to throw the antidote very far away from myself in order to activate it to make his map traversal a little better, and it's not even that much. I really don't understand, though, why it needs an activation time. I guess they don't want him to throw a regular bottle and then to have a haste boost immediately afterward, but it still won't be immediately afterward because he does have a cooldown time between which he can throw bottles. So I'm thinking just get rid of the activation time altogether. But see how that does. It's a PTB, devs. Come on. Try a few things that are a little crazy. None of this tiptoeing around crap. Make it so we have some crazy effects here. Get rid of the activation time on the PTB. See how it does. This is a PTB. It's not live. They're afraid to get a little too drastic, I think. They're very reserved when it comes to killer improvements. It's very, very odd. Additionally, we have increased the base bottle carrying capacity to 6, was 4. Decreased the visual intensity of the afterpiece tonic effects to reduce months. They should just get rid of the visual distortion effects of the tonic. There's been times where I've been in the cloud and it's like I have no idea where I'm even going. As long as he has the slowdown, he really doesn't need the visual distortion effects. Yeah, I would prefer they get rid of those altogether. But they've increased his capacity. So why don't you make it so each bottle type has their own number of bottles? So let's say you have 6 bottles. You have 6 tonic bottles and 6 antidote bottles. Each time you use a tonic, that number goes down by 1. So it goes from 6 to 5 the first time you use it. Then you switch to the antidote. The antidote would still be at 6 because you didn't use an antidote bottle. You used a tonic bottle. Would that be too overpowered? I don't think so. Him having separate bottle counts for each bottle. I mean, come on. As I said, this is the PTB. Get crazy. Go crazy with it. These little minuscule changes just aren't cutting it. This will allow a clown to clown around the map more easily and make the afterpiece antidote feel less awkward to use. It's not enough. Increased capacity will allow him to keep up the chase for longer before needing to reload. We'll see. I don't play a whole lot of clowns simply because he is so very much map dependent. He has no map pressure whatsoever. My aim with the bottles is not always that great either. So I'm not a big clown fan. But I think they could have gone a little more. They could have given him a little more than just this. The doctor. His practices may call his PhD into question, but he's been honing his craft. We have made the following adjustments to the doctor's shock therapy. Increased shock therapy range to 12 meters was 10.7 meters. Okay, that's really good. Decreased shock therapy detonation delay to 0.8 seconds was 1 second. 0.2 seconds. Okay. Well, with the calm add-on, it'll be even shorter, so that'll be good. Yeah, this is a good quality of life change for the doctor. At base, his shock therapy is pathetic. The range is just not there. And if you try to get a survivor at a pallet or window, more often than not, because the detonation delay is so long, they will make the pallet and the window if they're running any other add-ons other than the range or the detonation delay reduction. So, this is a good change. These changes will make his shock therapy attack feel more responsive and allow it to reach slightly further. Once again, the add-ons which provide similar effects have been toned down to take his base kit. Yeah, they'll probably still be useful. I would still say the high stimulus electrode and the calm add-ons, the purple calm add-on, will probably most likely still be meta. They'll just make him stronger. There's no reason to stop using those add-ons. So this will be a good change. The Demogorgon, short and sweet one for everyone's favorite upside down killer. Decrease successful shred attack cooldown to 2.7 seconds was 3 seconds. This change brings the Demogorgon's Shred attack back in line with the modern standard basic attack cooldown. Barb's glasses and Black Heart add-ons have been adjusted to compensate now that part of their effects have been incorporated in the basic. Okay. So they've brought in line with the basic attack cooldown. Good. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. I thought poor Demo was going to receive a nerf. It'd be nice if he got a little bit more of a buff, but still it's better than nothing, I suppose. The Huntress. Out of hatches with no locker in sight. Or maybe the entity sent you a map with poor line of sight, making it difficult to line up a shot. Hey, guys, it's not the entity. It's your crap map development team that doesn't know what they're doing when they make maps. Okay, I'll give you a clue. Your maps suck. All right? To help her stay topped up and give her opportunities to attack in busier areas, we have made the following changes. Increase base hatchet capacity to 7 was 5. Increase movement speed while holding a hatchet to 3.54 meters per second was 3.08 meters per second. Yeah, big deal. That is kind of a big change, but it's still, she's slower than a survivor. Increase Huntress's wind-up speed by 10%. Or maybe instead of these changes, you could just make her base movement speed like you did with Trickster. I'm still not understanding why Trickster is 115 and she's 110. Doesn't make any sense. I mean, the best way to catch survivors in loops you can't, like with tall structures like rocks or walls where you can't throw over, the best way to catch survivors in loops like that is just make her 115%. These changes won't make a damn bit of difference. You still can't chase a survivor around a loop like that while holding a hatchet. They're going to get away from you. As I said, this is the PTB, guys. Do something drastic. Make her 115. See how that works. Hell, make all the 110 killers 115. See what happens. It's a PTB. It's not live. Hell, PTBs aren't good gauges of how killers perform anyway. Make the changes to the live servers. See how they work after a couple weeks, and then go back if you need to. This tippy-toeing crap is just sad. It's just very timid. I don't know what their problem is. Just make some drastic changes. See how it works out. Lastly, we wanted to fine-tune a Blight add-on, which was in one of our recent Compound 33. Okay, so they've increased it by 1 rush. It was 2. They've increased it to 3. Yeah. Still not worth running. Neither of Blight's iridescent add-ons are really that good. They're really weak. I wouldn't run them. The Infinite Rushes was fun, but they've taken that away, so there's really no reason to run any Eerie on Blight. He doesn't really need them, but it would have been nice if they kept the Infinite Rushes. That was fun. Mangled. Mangled currently provides a lot of value throughout the match play, slowing down survivor healing. At the moment, there's no way for survivors to remove the Mangled. Oh, no. Other than healing through it. We want to make the stats effect more interesting and introduce some risk and reward to it. And how, pray tell, do you plan on doing that? The Mangled stats effect will now have a limited duration. Oh, wonderful. With the exact duration depending on the source and ranging between 60 and 90 seconds. This maintains Mangle's effectiveness as slowing down healing while forcing survivors to make a choice. Do they spend more time to heal now or risk staying injured until the effect expires? Devs, let me clue you in. Good survivors, they don't heal. Okay, I know this is kind of a shock to you, but they don't heal. You don't play Survivor at a high level, so you don't know this. But especially if someone's running Sloppy Butcher, they will not heal. They'll just power through the generators. And they'll bring perks like resilience to make them go even faster. This isn't rocket science, okay? Now, there is no reason whatsoever for them to heal when they're mangled. Because they know that the mangled status effect will be removed after a short time. There's no incentive whatsoever for them to heal if you're running Sloppy Butcher. And once the timer runs out, then they'll heal. I know this is a strange concept to you developers who don't play Survivor at a high level and who thinks that every person who does play Survivor plays it as a baby, but this is not going to give survivors a choice. Okay? There's no choice here. They don't need to make a choice. They will just stay injured and power through gens. You don't need to add any kind of a timer to Mangled. Good survivors won't heal anyway. And baby survivors who spend the whole match healing, should they maybe wisen up, get a clue, and say, hey, if we spend the whole match healing and never get generators done, maybe we shouldn't spend the whole match healing. Now, I will heal at any time because I run a healing build. I don't like being injured as Survivor. But that's because I don't trust myself enough in chase to actually maintain a decent chase if I'm injured. But I won't waste another survivor's time healing me when I can heal myself even if I am mangled. Because I know how damaging it can be to have more than one survivor off a generator. But devs, this will do nothing. This will not give survivors a choice. Survivors will simply say, screw it, I'll wait until the timer ends. I'll do a gen instead. So this will make gen rushing even more of a problem. So good job, devs. Way to think of your ass as usual instead of thinking with your brain. Blood web improvement. In previous update, we added the ability to automatically spend blood points to the blood web to ensure that newer players took the time to familiarize themselves with the items in their blood web. This button was originally hidden until the selected character had prestige at least once. Yeah, it was annoying. Since this feature was added, we've received many requests to show this button on other characters before their prestige, so we're doing just that. The automatic purchase option will now appear in all characters' blood webs once any character has been prestiged once. Okay, that's a quality of life improvement that should have been implemented the very first day of the blood web improvements. Yeah, it was rather annoying. It just goes to show you once again where the developers think the mental capabilities of survivors are in this game. They are very pandering to the lowest common denominator. It's very patronizing in a way. They think, well, if a new survivor sees that there's an option to automatically spend blood points in the blood web, they might accidentally click on that, and then if they don't get the perk or item they wanted, they'll be disappointed. So I mean, do they think all people who play Survivor have an IQ less than like 50? I mean, what's going on? Why do they have this mentality here? It should have been implemented on day one. I don't know. This development team is very strange. Very strange. And that's it for this developer update. As I said at the beginning, I wish they would give us a break. Let us breathe a little bit, get used to all these changes. Stop coming out with everything all at once. Even take a break on the new killer and new survivor content. Maybe do some quality of life adjustments to your games. Remove some of the bugs. Get rid of the broken perk combo, buckle up and for the people. Just do some general maintenance on your game. It likely won't happen though. So, as I said, this will be on the PTB Tuesday, the 20th. It will most likely go live maybe the first week of March, at the end of the first week of March. We'll see. And, of course, that will come with the new killer and the new survivor. But that's basically it. So, overall thoughts, Pig, got a major nerf. Sloppy Butcher is pretty much a dead perk now. Minor improvements to various other killers. And that's about it. So I will see everyone in the next video.